If this seems a little confusing or whatever, you can watch the last video, and this one will be on our YouTube channel as well. But this is, have you heard of Elementor, the page builder? Okay. Well, this is how to develop a widget with Elementor and unlimited elements. Are you good on video? Okay. So it's the advanced meetup or the advanced talk, and it'll get into a little bit more in more detail than last week or last month. So everybody knows this. So my name's Cliff. This is all about me. I run a YouTube channel, and I work at Drone Creative and also do stuff on the side too. So, but if you ever want to learn stuff about WordPress, you can go to my YouTube channel. And Unlimited Elements, which is a plugin, gives you the ability to extend Elementor by building your own widgets. So pretty much, if you see anything on CodePen or any element that uses HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you can pretty much build your own and customize it however you want to. And I feel like this plugin, again, is for users and designers and developers, because this plugin comes with a total of over 800 pre-made elements. And the one thing I like about this plugin, opposed to any other Elementor plugin that gives you customizable widgets to extend Elementor, is this one does not install a widget until you push the install button. So basically what it does is it doesn't add any weight to your website, so it'll load a little faster. It's basically what I mean by that, and I'll show that a little bit later. And so if you were here last month, I've already showed you that, but for the people who weren't, I'll show that again. And so let's kind of jump into it. So basically, let me get out some of these tabs. Yep. So basically, what I'm going to build is this right here. And it's a little testimonial slider. And it's built with BX Slider, which it's a jQuery plugin. And it uses HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And what I'm going to do is make it to where you can customize the color of the text, you know, the color of the line, and the color of the tick marks or the quote marks, and then the color from the quote text. And so basically we're going to create this. So let's kind of jump right into it. So first you need to have Elementor installed, and if you don't know how to do that, you just go to plugins, and hopefully this runs. There it is. And you need to have Elementor installed. So if you just type Elementor or Elementor, however you want to say it. I've heard it said both ways. So you will. It's already installed, and I have the Pro version. Oh, another thing I didn't tell you about Unlimited Elements plugin is you don't need the Pro version of it to do what I'm doing. So you can do this with the free version. And to be honest with you, I don't feel like you need the Pro version at all unless you're wanting to there's like one element that he has, and I'll show you, that's a pro feature. So you get a couple of free elements of the 800 elements, but if you get the pro version, then you get all of them. So, but I have Elementor installed. So, and then I also have Elementor Pro, which you can buy at elementor.com. I think it's for one site, it's only like $49, so it's not super expensive. And you also need unlimited elements. And the developer from this of this plugin they're super responsive on answers. He's on Facebook. They have their own Facebook group. Everything. I've actually talked to him through Facebook, and he's actually added a field for me that I asked for. So I thought that was kind of cool. At least I like to think it was because of me, because it happened right after I asked him. So, yeah. So let's, now that I have both of those installed, I'm going to go to Unlimited Elements. And as you can see, these are the only ones that I have installed. And the reason I know that is because I have this little tick mark right here checked. If I uncheck that, you can see there are a ton of elements. And all of these say, if they say web, they're available to install. And if they say pro, then they're not. Mine are going to say all web because I purchased the pro version. So, what I was talking about earlier is the element's not installed unless you hit this little install button. So if I were to hit this little install button, then I could use it. But you can't use it right now because it's not installed on your website. So, and it has all these different categories and stuff like that. So, but I've actually already created this testimonial slider, but I'm gonna just start from scratch. So, so you hit add widget. So let me get out of this for a second. Before you hit add widget, you want to make sure you're in the right category that you want to add it to. So, so if I want it in this category, you just have to have it highlighted, and you can create your own category as well. So these are all my examples that I've made. Like this is my little test site that I use to create widgets. So, so I have 7 widgets created. You can add a preview image. So you select the widget, you hit add, and then we're going. Actually, I'm not going to add a category. I'm sorry. So you select the widget, you hit add widget, and then I'm going to call this. Actually, to be honest with you, I want this to be in the Meetup widget folder. So I say add widget, and I'm going to say testimonial. I can spell it also. So if I spell it wrong, don't judge me. Testimonial. That's close enough. Slider 2. Actually, I'm going to change this because I don't like putting numbers on it. I'm going to call it Meetup Testimonial Slider. And the one thing I like is once you enter the name right here and you hit tab, it automatically pre-fills the widget name. And you don't have to put a description. You can if you want to, but you don't have to.
I'm just going to see if I can darken the lights back here.
Oh, that's fine.
Just so you can see a little bit.
That's cool.
Go ahead.
I'll be in the dark. And so we're going to hit add widget. And we're going to open this in a new tab. Actually, I'm just going to open it in here. And so there are a few things you can do when adding a widget. You can create, or you can add an icon, and these are all fun awesome icons, so I'm just going to put some people here. And you can use advanced custom fields. So if I wanted to use dynamic content, you just click this and you tell it you want to use custom fields and stuff like that. I might show you, if I have enough time, I might show you. If not, I'll try to put out a video and post it about how to use ACF with this, because it's super cool. But I'm going to keep it at no, and it gives you a link to actually put the example of where you found it in right here. So if you find something in CodePen and you're like, ooh, I want to know where that's at, and you want to bookmark it, this is kind of what that is. So that's kind of cool. Here's where you can add the preview image. You just need to name the preview image this. Preview _ addon.jpg or png or gif or whatever. And then you can create the background color of it, whatever. I'm going to leave it as default. And if you create that image, you just come over here and hit create folder, and we'll say Meetup folder. That's what I'm going to call it. And I'm going to hit create. And you need to have that folder selected. And you need to say set widget path. And so now if I create an image, I can upload it to this folder and it will show a preview, which is kind of cool. So now to test the slider out and make sure it works, you have a HTML field, a CSS field, and JavaScript field, and you can also, he has a few libraries in here that you can use, and actually I'm going to use the VX slider library. So you can upload your own file as well over here and then link it, and it will put it down here, and you can add more than one by clicking this little plus button. And so now that I've linked the jQuery, CSS, and JavaScript, because that's what happens when you check these two boxes, right? It puts the CSS for VX slider and the jQuery for VX slider. And actually, I don't need to check this because WordPress has jQuery built in, so you don't need it. So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to copy all of this CSS, or all this HTML, sorry, right here. I'm going to paste it here. And this works just like a code editor, so you can use, hit the back. You can do that to line everything up if you want to, if you're a neat freak and want everything to line up. But we're going to hit update. I always hit update twice just because I want to make sure it saves. And so now I'm going to come back over here, and you don't really have to worry about all this. I start right here and come all the way down and hit copy. And you do have to make sure, actually, see, I just caught myself. This is Sass, if you can see that. So you need to come over here and compile. View as compiled, and this is only in CodePen, so you don't. That's why I needed to do this. And I'm glad I caught myself because I wouldn't look like an idiot after I pasted it. That's not working. So hit copy again, come over here, we're gonna paste it right here, and we are gonna take this out. There's no reason for this. And so we need the JavaScript next. And so come over here. We're going to grab this JavaScript. And you can copy all this because it'll give you comments. So we'll come over here and paste all this in. So in regular, one thing I'll say about JavaScript is, so normally you can put a $sign in here, but I learned from Joel that you need, a long time ago, that this needs to say jQuery. So everywhere there's a $sign, we'll have to put jQuery. So not capital J. So we'll come over here and copy that. And I think it's just one other place. Yep. Okay. Oh, nope. There. So I think that's it. Looks like it. If it doesn't work, I'll come back and take a look at it. We're going to update. So now, everything should work. And you will have a fully functional widget. It's not customizable yet, but it will be fully functional. Fully functional. So we're going to hit refresh, so it'll show up in our panel over here. And so now, see, this is what I created it the first time. This is, when I drag it out, and it doesn't work. So, this is why you test. And we'll see that there is something wrong. Never works the first time. So I probably got a JavaScript there. Yep. Yep, there's a $sign somewhere that I missed. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Cool. So, told you I probably missed it. Right here. There we go. So now let's try it. There we go. It's looks like it's working. Yeah. There's some CSS that's not pulling, looks like. But the slider's working. Let's see what's up with the CSS. Okay. Looks like there's something I didn't copy or something like that. Oops. Oh, there's some sass in there. That's why. I thought I compiled it. Yes, I did. View compiled CSS. There we go. I must have uncompiled it. So we're going to copy from here down. I never get it right the first time. If you get it right the first time and you're a developer, then you're Superman. So that's all I got to say. And so now we should be able to refresh this and okay. So you just gotta change the tick marks, but everything's working. You got a fully functional slider, testimonial widget, and now I'm going to show you the true magic in changing the font of your of everything and the text, color, and all that stuff. So, and actually bringing in dynamic content. So now, if I refresh this, there we go. All right. So we'll hit update, and let's see. I don't technically need this anymore. Here, pull this over here. All right. So there's two areas, and last time I just showed you about the attribute area, but this time I'm going to extend it to the item attribute, which pretty much is a repeater field. So the first one I just did a single element, and you can go back and watch that, and we'll show you how that works. But so now we need, I actually do need this. So we need a name and a title field. So we're gonna, actually that's gonna go in the repeater. Here we need a, let's see how to do this. So here is all the general information about the slider. So like all the colors, the font maybe, different things like that. So we want to be able to change the color of the name. So we will say name color, and we are going to use a color picker, and you can pick a default color if you want to. So I'm just going to pick, y'all should know my favorite color by now, so I'll pick that.
Maroon.
Maroon, yeah. And the next is going to be the title of the person. So we will make that like a light gray or something, or dark gray. Just kind of picking random colors. And then we want the a tick mark color. Where'd it go? Yeah, so we want to get this tick mark color right here. So we'll do that. Call it quote mark color. Oh. You pick your default color. Then we're going to do a line color. So a quote, I'm going to call it a quote bar color. What else do I need? Quote text color. Text color. And let's see, what else? What other colors do we have? I think that's it. Quote color, quote text, quote line, the title, and the name. So I think that's it. And so as you can see, there are a lot of different fields, and actually the field that I feel like he added because of me is the link field. And I don't truly believe that, it's a joke, but he did add it right after I asked him to. Because I was having to manually cut and paste the links, and it was a pain in the butt. And that link field dynamically pulls from your pages or posts, and all you have to do is type the name of the page, and it pulls it right up. So I thought that was kind of cool. So another one that I like is they have something called a HR line, which is kind of like a separator. So if you wanted to separate the quote color from the text and the name, you could call this quote separator. Quote, I'm just going to call it quote HR. How about that? And hit add, and you can drag and drop. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to put a line between the title and the quote mark color. And we're going to make sure we hit update a couple times because
Do you need to add the content fields?
I'm doing that.
Okay.
I'm on my way.
Cool.
Yep. So now we're going to add the content field. So we need a name, a title, and our quote text. So we're going to go here, and we're going to hit yes. We want to enable item attributes. So it automatically gives you a title. For some reason it won't let you edit this. But you can delete it and start over. So that's what I always do. So I go over here and say add, and I'm going to call it name. And here's where you enable the font, where you can control the font. I did notice previously, when I was previously messing with this slider, that the way it was built, like without editing a lot of stuff, when I added this, it messed some stuff up. So I'm just going to choose not to, and you can define all that in your CSS of the widget. But it will inherit right now it's inheriting the font of your theme. So that's the way that works, unless you click this. And for this, I'm just not, but this is a super cool, awesome little addition that I do like, but for this particular element, I'm not going to use it. And so here, I'm going to call this title. And so I'm going to hit add, and these are all text fields, and then I'm going to add the quote text is what I'm going to call it. And this does the same thing. If you just hit tab, it automatically pulls the name. And you can add a description. I really feel like this description should show up in the editor, but it doesn't. So that kind of bugs me a little bit. Because you have to add your description right here, and I think that's kind of stupid. So I might send him a request about that, because it would be nice if they showed up in the side panel. So I'm going to hit add. Actually, I need to make this an editor. You can make this an editor or a text field. It really doesn't matter. But I like the editor because it gives them a little bit more control of like bolding text or italicizing it or whatever. So you just hit update, and so this is basically all the fields that we should need.
Is it the same types of fields that you can edit with the attributes?
What do you mean?
So like images, text, stuff
Yeah,
like that?
You have the same field options for attributes as you do for
Item
item attributes.
Yeah, so if you're in here, you have, you talking about these tabs? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm just trying to figure out the difference between the attributes and item attributes.
Oh, yeah, you have the same fields, I'm sorry. You have the same fields. The only thing, the item attribute gives you the ability to use a repeater. That's the only difference. You get the same fields. So basically, you have two tabs right here. You have your general tab, which is all the regular attributes that applies to the entire slider. And then you have your items. And so this is not going to show right now because I haven't added the fields yet. But if you hit add, it's going to add your little repeater, and you can drag this out. And then you have your name, your text, your title, and then your content. So we'll come back and deal with that in a minute. But we need to go into here. And something else I didn't show you all. So you can add default content in here. So so if we put name, everything's typed today. So you update this, and you can do this on just about any field. So we'll just put title. And then in here, I'm just going to copy some text. And we're going to hit add or update. So now you have default content, just like I did the default colors. You can do that with the text fields and text area and WYSIWYG too. So we're going to hit update. And so now for the good stuff, we're going to add the dynamic content to these. So what we're going to do is, we're going to use the item HTML, and then we're going to use the item HTML2. And so basically, for this, we're going to copy one of these, and we're going to paste it right here, because this is being repeated. So this is going to be part of our repeater, so we don't need all of them, right? So then we can take all of these out. Tab over here. And so put items is a variable pretty much for all of the item HTML. And put item 2 is a variable that holds everything that you put in here. And put in item at HTML2. So what we will do is we will put this here, and we will copy this, and we will paste it here. And then we will get rid of all of this. And we will put items to there. Does everything make sense so far?
Why are there only 2 items?
I wish he would have more. I wish he'd give you, so I have that same question, and I don't know why I haven't asked, but I wish he would give you the ability to add more. But to be honest with you, that's why I think he lets you use ACF. So you can use ACF with this too. I really would, I don't think I'm going to have time, but I would like to show how to add ACF in here. But this is part of the plugin, so I thought I would show this first. Because using ACF is pretty awesome when it comes to this plugin. And the ACF fields will show up over here like all of these. So let's move on to item HTML. So the first item, you get all of these. These are the items that we created in the item attributes. And you get the same ones here that you do here. So if we copy this and we replace it with name, or we highlight it, and then replace this with title, and then replace this, dynamic as far as content. So if we go over here and I hit update and refresh. So now we don't have any content. So if I were to put name, what was going on? That's kind of funky. And then I put title. There it is. That's why I like to have default content. And I don't know why I didn't pull the default content, probably because I already had that one created. I can't spell today, guys. There we go. And then if I throw some content in here, like this, there you go. So since you only have one, it's not going to slide, but I can hit duplicate, and it should slide. There it goes. And it's the same content. So
Does your default content come up if you just hit add item?
yeah, it should. I don't know why it didn't, but it should. And it does in the one that I created for you, I think, unless I didn't put default content in there. So I'm going to add some more content in this second one so you know it's changing. So now if you preview it, there you go. And slides and everything works great. This one should be sliding up for some reason, but it's not doing that, it's just fading. Alright, so now I'm gonna, this is, when I found out about this, I thought this was really cool. You can use dynamic, you can use these little things in CSS. So basically, I'm going to take this white background off because I don't really want a white background. Oh, I know what else I was going to change that I didn't do right here. Did I do the line color? I did do the line color, right? Bar color, okay. Just wanted to make sure. Alright, so now I'm going to go to the CSS and add the dynamic. I did bar color, but I didn't do bar width. Let's see. So bar color, you just add that little variable right there. And basically what that'll do is whatever color you put for you added in the editor, it'll put it right there. So, but just because this is bugging me, I'm gonna come in here and add a quote or width, and we're going to use a number field, yeah, and I'm going to put 5 pixels. Actually, you just have to type 5 because I'm going to manually put that EX in there for you. So now we just come over here like that, and we highlight this, and we put that right there. Let's see. So this is controlling the font of the tick marks, and I didn't specify that. So, but you can if you want to in other elements. Right here is where we're going to change the color of the quote marks. And then we'll come down here to the after, do the same thing, use the same color. And if you want them to be different colors for some reason, you could just add another field that says quote mark left, quote mark right, whatever. I don't know why you'd want them different colors. Then we're gonna come down right here, and the text color of the, let's see, block quote, here we go. Should be a color right here, or did I take it out? Block, oh no. I added it in my other one, I think. So we'll come over here and we'll say text color, and make sure you add your semicolon, or you'll get an error and it won't work. And so next, I think that's it. Bar width, bar type, quote mark, text, yeah. Name color, that's what it was. Okay. So now, yeah. So we're going to, where's the name? Forget what to go back to this is where I have to come back over here and see what I used, the BXL. Okay, so we'll come over here and we're going to search for span. Should be one called span. Should be, yeah, right here. So we're going to add a color right here. I think this is the top. Can I do the top? Text color. Okay. No, let's quote text color. I didn't add a name, a tile color. Yeah. Okay. Quote.
You just named title color title. You need to rename it.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's right. I thought I did it. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to come back over here to the CSS. And we'll add that. And then the name. This is wrong. We want to add this. We want to add the name color right here because it's left. See, there's two sliders going on here if you hadn't noticed. There's one on this side and there's one on this side. So if you hadn't noticed that, you're using VX slider twice. So right here we'll type color. And this is left, so we will hit main color, I think. Yeah. And I think that's it. Hold on. Text. Text 2. Better remember I did this in my previous one because it worked. Alright. Let's just try this. Okay. Everything all right? I'm gonna try this. Let's just see if what I have now works, and then I'll figure out what I need to do. Alright, so now when I refresh this, it should change colors of all this stuff. Hey, that's white. Why is that white? Probably because it's white in here. Yep. There we go. Alright. So this is going to look really ugly, but quote bar color. Oh, the quote bar color didn't work. Title. And that didn't work either. So this is where you have to test it, because this is what testing is all about. Am I right, Joel? Alright, so,
It's a lot easier to do when you're not in front of a group of people.
yeah, I know. I know. It is. You are correct. But when you're showing something live, you're always going to have mistakes, I feel like. So it feels like I have the right color. But it's not showing. See, I told you this was more advanced than we got. The other one was pretty easy. I hate using important statements. And I don't feel like I should have to do that. Oh, it is working. Dummy, man. Alright. Quote mark colors. I'm not a dummy after all. Woo! Hey, so it works, y'all.
The line between them.
Yeah, the line's not working. So
Is that transparent too?
it could be white. Let's see what the color is. What the color's supposed to be. Bar color is supposed to be blue.
Yeah, but is that blue transparent?
Oh, you know what? I know what I did. I didn't set the width. I didn't set the width of the oh yeah, it is 5. Did I put it in the right spot? Let's see. CSS. Quote mark bar width. Oh, I told you I was going to manually do this. So I didn't put PX behind it. So now it should work. Nice. So, and there's still some spacing issues. Like, of course, Ben will point this out. There's spacing issues down at the bottom. I'm just kidding.
It did throw some weird padding on it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the way the guy designed it. He did it on CodePen. But if we wanted this to be thinner, we can make this thinner, whatever. If we wanted to make it 20, we can make it 20. It's kind of ugly, but yeah. So you get the point. So that's how to use the repeater field or the item attribute field. It's really cool because, again, you can do all types of stuff with it. Yeah, so you can do a lot of stuff with it. I've created sliders with it, so I can show you all that. So I can just show you some examples that I've made. So I made this slider. And so basically everything's customizable. These arrows, you can change the arrow colors. This slide is totally made with Elementor. The animations are made with Elementor. So basically how I'm doing this is the slides themselves are made with an Elementor template part. So if you go into Elementor templates, and you go here, and see I created slides here and here, and then all I did was pull this shortcode. And so I have the slider height, the slider arrow colors. So if you wanted to make them white, which pretty much most knows that's what that is. And then here's where you add your slide. And so Johnny wanted me to create this and wanted to give him the option of putting an image here or putting an image on the background of the slider itself, the slide itself. So I gave him that option where you could design the entire slide inside of a template part, and this is using V8 Slider as well. So you could design the entire slide here. You just had to make the height of the vertical height 100%, and then you design the whole slide with animations and everything. You know, these animate in with Elementor, and then you just find the template part shortcode and you just add it in there, and it pulls it right in. Super awesome. Or you can just do it like this. You can add the text or the image here, and you can just type content in there if you want to. It's whatever you want to do with this. That's why I was giving him the option. So I did that, and I think I'm still working on another one that's pretty complex, that has to do with like hotspots. So this is a website that I've been working on. Let's see. Oh, I need to start the website up. Sorry. And I am using local by Flywheel to spin up all my sites that I'm showing y'all. So and after I show y'all this, I'll let y'all ask questions. But so this is that same slider, and here's the hotspots. So like I created this where, and this is all done with unlimited elements. I just found a code pin. I just copied all the CSS and everything, and you can, you know, link. These can show different things. So
How are you determining the position? Are you just using the?
So I manually did this in the. So the position isn't customizable because I didn't figure out a way to do it. But all the. So I'll show it to you. But what goes in here and the title and everything is customizable, and the colors and all that stuff. But I want to figure out a way to make it customizable because I've seen plugins that are hotspots that does give them the ability to do that. So, but basically what I did is I gave it a title and Elementor or a WYSIWYG field, and here's where I added the color. So. So that's how I did that, but the position I manually added in CSS, so I hadn't figured out a way to do that. I might use ACF to do that, I don't know, because you can do a little bit more with ACF than you can with those two little item attribute fields, I feel like. So yeah, like I've done a bunch of like a few elements on this page with that, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, you can do pretty much anything with anything that's HTML, CSS, JavaScript, anything like that. You might be able to pull in some PHP. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I'm not sure. But here's where you can find me. Again, if you need help with this and need a video that I don't have, I'll be glad to make it. Or I will talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about it here. You know, if you want to know something, if you have a topic that you want somebody to speak on, don't be be afraid to ask. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, thank you guys for coming, and I appreciate it.